Hi guys, for today's video we have a special guest. Finley wants to snuggle on the bed while I film this, so he's gonna be here in the background with us. But for today's video, I wanna share with you my postpartum essentials, things that got me through postpartum, things that I think are very helpful to have, and things that I would recommend for you guys. So I had my baby 7 months ago, so this is kind of in the past, distant past, but I remember it vividly, and these are the things that really helped me. So I have this big box of stuff, this basket that I would keep in the bathroom, and I'm gonna go through some of the products I have right here, but then other things I'm just going to insert a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. But I had a few tears, I had an episiotomy, so I had a pretty intense recovery, and these things were really, really helpful for me. So the first thing I will say is the Frida Mom Peri Bottle. This Peri Bottle is so helpful, one of my most used items postpartum, because you just fill this up with warm water, and then when you go like this, it sprays up. So you can put it upside down and it'll actually spray up, which the one at the hospital does not do that. This was one of my most used items. I used it every single time I went to the bathroom. Because everything is healing and there's a lot going on, it can sting if you don't dilute pee. So I would always, right when I started to pee, I'll just spray this the whole time I was going to the bathroom so that it doesn't sting. And then afterwards, I would just continue to kind of rinse everything. Because you have wounds and tears, unless you're lucky and didn't get any, you want to keep that area very, very clean, and you can't be like rubbing toilet paper a ton. You basically continually spray this while you pee so that it doesn't burn, because if you just straight pee, that's going to burn your cuts. So you spray this while you're going, and I sprayed to make sure everything was very clean, and then you just pat with toilet paper. So this is a must. Whatever Peri bottle you get, I recommend this one, but definitely a Peri bottle to dilute your pee and to just keep that area very clean so that it can heal properly and you can be more comfortable. Then after that, there are a lot of products that you can use to promote healing and just to help you feel more comfortable, because at least for me, are you gonna be kind of distracting? At least for me, I needed a lot of products to feel comfortable, so I have a few different things. The first few days, I will insert a picture, but I just used these diapers because they were so much easier than putting a bunch of stuff in underwear. Just for me personally, when you're bleeding a lot, it's really nice to just put that diaper on. I highly recommend them. I am someone who hates fragrance, and they do have a fragrance, but I didn't care. They were so convenient, I didn't care, and I highly, highly recommend those ones. I will link them down below. Still have a concoction that you use. So what I would do is I'd put the diaper on. Sometimes I would put a big maxi pad on top. Sometimes I'd just use the diaper, depended on the situation. But then what I would do is I would use these perennial cooling liners, which you put on there. And then I also had these tucks. I would either do tucks or I would do this. They're kind of the same idea. I didn't love these. I think they have some downsides, but they did have that cooling, healing feeling, which is what you need. It's so tender and painful that having something like this is like when you do that. So I highly recommend putting these on. One downside of them is because they are like a separate piece of fabric type, you know, material. They can bunch up, they can fall to the side, they, you know, it's not perfect, but I do think you need something like this. I did find that the cooling liners did stay in place better than the tucks, but I would just put like 2 or 3 of these tucks and then try and keep them in place as you put your underwear on, which is not easy. I felt like the liners were easier to kind of keep in place, but either ones of these, it just helps with that cooling and giving you some relief. There is also this, which I found was pretty nice. This is the Frida Mom Perennial Healing Foam. So this is the same idea, but it's a foam. And I didn't think this provided as much relief as the liners. I liked the liners better for relief, but this obviously stays in place because you just spray the foam. Sometimes I would double up. I think the Frida Mom bundle is just really great. That's where I got all of this stuff from, and I used it every single time I went to the bathroom. There is also this product that I use from Earth Mama. It's an herbal perennial spray, and this was nice to just kind of spray everything afterwards, and it was cooling and it felt like it was adding some healing. And all these types of things are just nice to keep the area clean and soothed and fresh, because you're bleeding a lot. It just is what it is. If you have tears, even if you don't, it's just so tender and you're bleeding, and it's been a trauma to your body. So having things that are going to soothe your body, that are going to calm the area, and that are going to promote healing are what you need. And also just feeling comfortable for those first, I don't know, 2 weeks. It could be painful to sit down, to move positions. So something that I did use, which I'll just insert a picture because they're actually in the linen closet, but the long ice pack pads from Frida Mom, I would also use those in the first little bit when you're like bruised feeling and you're sore. You just put one of those in your diaper or in your underwear, and then you can put all your stuff, all like the liners or the tucks or the foam, you can put all that on top of that, and then it's like an ice pack down there, which I loved that when I was really struggling and it was really painful. I would do that, and that was awesome. And I wanted to also mention Epsom salt baths were everything. They promoted so much healing. So every single night at some point in those first couple weeks, I would soak in an Epsom salt bath. That would just help to clean the area, to help heal the area, and it was really soothing. So I highly recommend incorporating Epsom salt baths. I would feel relief, and also it would help. I mean, salt water is just healing, so that is something that I did. So every time you go to the bathroom, you do this concoction, you do new stuff, and then the baths were really awesome. I also wanted to mention these boy shorts come in the Frida Mom kit. I actually never ended up using these because I used those diapers, but I've heard amazing things about these, and I'll probably use them next time around. So I'm just keeping them, but they're disposable, comfortable underwear that I'm definitely going to use next time. I just didn't because I was always in those diapers. But once you graduate from diapers and you have less bleeding and you don't want to wear a diaper anymore because you don't need it, I will insert a picture, but these underwear from Amazon are amazing. They are high-waisted, full coverage, black underwear that are everything during postpartum because they hold everything in, because they're high-waisted. You've got a lot going on. Your uterus is still contracting back down, and you've got a lot of bleeding still, and you want to be comfortable, and you need full coverage, like big underwear to hold all of your pad situation. Like, you can't be wearing skimpy underwear in postpartum. You just can't. This is a phase of life that you're just not gonna feel the cutest, and you just need to do what works. So I got these big underwear from Amazon. Love them, recommend them highly. And then I would put either a big maxi pad when you're really bleeding, or one of these two. This is 7th generation chlorine-free ultra thin pads. And then these are chlorine-free ultra-thin liners from L is the brand? I don't know. I get the more naturally ones that I can get. But I recommend getting the really, really long ones and just putting those in your underwear, and then doing the same thing, the same process, just minus the diaper. And I found that I was able to switch from the diapers to those underwear pretty quickly, and it was really nice because then you're not having to like change your whole diaper every time. You can just like switch out the pad and feel semi-normal with your underwear. But those underwear are awesome. They're very supportive, full coverage, hold your pads. It's really good. So that's what I would recommend for kind of like your hygiene bathroom situation and your underwear situation. That's what really worked for me. And I also recommend just put a basket like this in your bathroom so you have all of your stuff right there. And then of course getting like a nice gentle wash for the shower. They do recommend not really using soap and things like that, so I did a lot of Epsom salt baths, and then when I started to heal a little bit more, I'll insert the wash that I use, but that would just keep everything really fresh and clean because you want to make sure that that's that way so it heals. So that is kind of like my bathroom postpartum stuff. And then I just wanted to mention a few products that I found really helpful postpartum that aren't actual like pad and stuff like that. Another thing that I found really helpful postpartum was comfy bras, nursing bras, bralette bras. I'll link some below that I really like, but you are gonna wanna be comfortable and you're gonna want it to be functional. If you are breastfeeding, your milk will come in and your boobs will be engorged and you're leaking, and you just wanna be comfy and you want easy access to breastfeed, and it's a whole thing that is new territory if you're a first-time mom. Or if you're not, it's just your body's going through this change now. And having comfy, functional bras was awesome, whether you want a nursing bra that you can unclip, or if you want just like a bralette that you can pull up. I found both of those really helpful, but you aren't gonna wanna be wearing super tight sports bras or like super tight underwire bras, because if you have too much constricting fabric on your bras, you can get mastitis, clogged ducts. So I like to have really comfortable bras that were not gonna restrict my milk flow and that were functional. So I really, really liked having those, and they were a must-have postpartum and still are. I still am breastfeeding, so I still use the same bras. Another thing was biker shorts or leggings, and big t-shirts were a must for me. I gave birth in the spring, so depending on the season you give birth, it'll change, but just really comfy clothes that make you feel comfortable. I gained a lot of weight in my pregnancy with my daughter, and I felt really, really uncomfortable and self-conscious after giving birth because I have never gained that much weight, and my body was extremely different. And I had to find something that made me feel comfortable, because it's easy to slip into feeling really poorly about yourself because you look so different. And there is not a lot you can do in those first 6 weeks. You can't be exercising. The memory card filled up, so I had to make some space. But I was saying, in those first few weeks after having your baby, your body is so different. Your uterus is still coming back down. I gained all this weight. I was feeling super uncomfortable. So finding comfortable clothes that make you feel good is really important. So for me, that was biker shorts and big t-shirts, comfy pants and t-shirts, sweatshirts. Like, that's just what felt comfortable to me. So whatever makes you feel good and makes your body feel comfortable, because in those first weeks of postpartum, you are just recovering. You're learning this new life with your baby, you're snuggling your baby, you're typically home a lot more, just living this new life. And so having very comfortable clothes, whether that, like now in this wintry time, like sweaters and joggers and leggings and that kind of stuff, whatever makes you feel comfortable confidence-wise and just body-wise is what I would recommend. I did not try to look cute. I didn't wear jeans. I didn't do any of that. I just wore what made me feel comfortable. Biker shorts and big t-shirts were that for me. And then the last couple things I wanted to mention about postpartum products is pumps. So I used my Spectra pump, which is the one that actually plugs into the wall, and I used a lot. But then also a manual pump, the one from Medela is the one I use. I'll insert a picture here. But that one was so, so helpful when you are engorged and your milk is coming in. I was pumping at least twice a day in those first few months because I had so much milk. And I had the manual pump because I would wake up in the morning and I would have so much milk that I had to express some of that, or I would basically waterboard my daughter with milk. She was not ready for all that milk at once. So having a manual pump that you can just express enough milk that it's gonna be comfortable for your baby to feed, or if you just need some relief and some comfort and you don't wanna do the whole setup, a manual pump was so helpful. I use the electric pump a lot more now than the manual one, but if I'm gonna go somewhere for a long time, I just pack the manual one in the bag. It's just super helpful. I know a lot of people don't use a manual one, but I found it super essential for postpartum. Those are kind of my main things. Postpartum is such a journey. If you guys want more videos on postpartum, please comment down below. I would love to share whatever would be helpful for you guys. Postpartum is a very intense season of your whole pregnancy birth experience, and it's a lot because you're healing and you're caring for this new baby and your body is different, and there is just a lot that goes into postpartum. So if you guys want more videos on that, please let me know. I would love to share anything that would be helpful for you guys. But those are things that really helped me in postpartum. And then of course, just snuggling your baby and enjoying this new season is so sweet and amazing. But postpartum can be hard, and these are things that made it a little bit easier for me. So that's it for this video. I will link down below in the description everything that I talked about in this video if you're interested or looking for any of these items. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and you liked it. Please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you also follow my Instagram. It's just rachelfreeby_. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!